Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beating the Odds. It is Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. We are back with our best bets of the day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach, and welcome to Beating the Odds. Let's recap yesterday's results. So, as y'all can tell, you see on my left shoulder how we did. Went 4-7 yesterday. 4-4 on free picks, which again still lost on juice. And then members only, we got absolutely brutalized yesterday. So we're gonna bounce back today because here's the deal: our best days come after our worst days. That's how it's been on this channel for a very, very, very long time. And if you keep your head on straight when it comes to betting, that's how it should be. Because today is not affected by yesterday. It's kind of like a hand of blackjack. And I feel great about our plays today. Some takeaways though from last night though that I will say after watching yesterday that I could not stand. First things first, every single person who thought it was a good idea to put Giants when they knew this Giants team was going to be terrible and this Pittsburgh team on Monday Night Football at a standalone game should be fired at ESPN or should be fired in the NFL. I'm not sure who decided to put this game on TV, but this game was one of the sloppiest, bullshit, boring games I've ever seen in my life. Now there were a few big plays. Tyrone Tracy had a nice run. There was a nice kickoff return from Calvin Austin, but this game was so atrociously bad to watch. I almost just turned it off and went to bed at like 9 o'clock because it was just so boring. I mean, the quarterback play was terrible for the most part. Russell looked pretty good in the second half and really the fourth quarter. But for the first three quarters of this game, there was absolutely nothing. And Daniel Jones should be ashamed of himself. He is like, I don't know how, like, the GM for the Giants should honestly be like have an IQ test to make sure he's not actually mentally retarded for paying this guy. Daniel Jones, I'm not breaking news here, is the worst quarterback I've ever seen get paid that much money. He is unbelievably bad. I don't know how on earth he was picked in the top 6. I said it like years ago, as well before I was on YouTube, obviously. But my Lord, we should not be subjected to such bad quarterback play on national TV. This just should not happen under any circumstance. So, and by the way, my Skins, we're going to play the Steelers in a couple weeks. I am licking my fucking chops to play this team because the Skins are going to win by 50 against them because they are not a good team. They just have played some really horrible competition, and my God. And yesterday, by the way, we got smoked with the squares. The other big takeaway I had yesterday as well after watching is that everyone on the Grizzlies should be shot because no pun intended with John Morant. But even so, Ja didn't play last second, which really absolutely screwed us. And on top of that, they had a 28-point lead and blew and ended up losing outright. So, I mean, I'm a little annoyed, as you guys can tell, a little sour grapes. But the good thing is that the research is the research and the numbers are the numbers. So even when I'm a little annoyed, the numbers don't lie. So I love our picks that we have today. I've got 6 plays for you guys here. It's a 2x2x2. 2 in the NBA, 2 in college football, 2 in the NHL, in that order. And before we get to the picks, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit the notification bell so you never miss a pick. We post these best bet videos every single day. Going after 15,000 subscribers our first year and a half on YouTube. Excited to have you all here. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. So let's jump in the plays that we have today. I'm going to start with our first plays with the T-Wolves minus 4.5 versus the Mavericks. Here's the reality. This line is weird. I think that everyone and their mother, the public, is looking at this and be like, wow, the Mavericks at plus 4.5. This is free money, and Vegas is laying a trap. Very similar to what they did with the Celtics yesterday. That's just what I see here. The Mavs are going to be off a back-to-back, and Lord knows, these NBA players cannot play well off a back-to-back. They can't play basketball twice in 2 days. I mean, it just can't happen. I understand that. So they're probably going to sit everybody. The Mavericks, excuse me, they probably won't. But they're gonna not play as well as they did yesterday because they played a basketball game 2 days in a row. That's probably what's going to happen. But when you look at the matchups, though, for being real, me not being sarcastic, is that the T-Wolves, the Mavs are going to try to guard Anthony Edwards with PJ Washington. That's what they're going to try to do. And if they do that, then that is going to leave them unbelievably vulnerable to getting absolutely murdered inside by Gobert and Julius Randle. Because if you're going to put Luka on Julius Randle in the regular season, good luck. Because Randle's going to score 30 points, have 12 rebounds, and like 7 assists. Because Luka doesn't play defense in the regular season. We know this. Now, let's just say you don't put PJ Washington on Anthony Edwards. Let's say you just don't do that. You put I guess you put Clay on him, I guess, in that situation. Then Anthony Edwards is going to drop like 40 because Clay's a good defender, but he's not what he was a few years ago after the knee surgery, the Achilles surgery. Anthony Edwards is a really, really bad matchup. On top of that, the size of the T-Wolves is legitimate, and the thing you really need to play against this Mavericks team are really good wing defenders, and the T-Wolves have that in droves. I mean, they've got wing defenders all over the place with DiVincenzo, and Edwards is a really good defender as well. Jaden McDaniels, they've got a freaking squad. Plus Naz Reid coming off the bench is going to give them really effective size, like in the back and in the front court. So for me, dude, I love the T-Wolves -4.5. I can also tell you about where the money's going right now. The money for today, as of right this second, as I'm recording, is big time on the T-Wolves here, while the public is very much on the Mavericks. I like the T-Wolves here today in this spot, -4.5. I would bet this up to -5.5. So I'm going to roll with that here for our first play. The second play that I'm going to roll with today is going to be the over 235.5 in Sacramento and Utah. Both of these teams play a mile a minute. They play very, very fast paced. Utah's defense is one of the worst in the NBA. They had I think their best defensive performance yesterday, and they let up 110 points. And also, these teams play very fast, but their weaknesses are each other's strengths. So, for example, the Kings have great wing guys, great guards, and the Utah cannot guard guards. They've got actually pretty good guards with Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson off the bench, but they don't have like they're not good defensive guards. So De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, these guys are going to literally light up this defense from the outside. While on the other hand, the Jazz have fantastic size down low. They've got a bevy like of great inside scorers, plus guys like stretch fours who can shoot, guys like Lauri Markkanen, and the Kings don't have the size to compete with the Jazz size. So when you look at them, they're almost an antithesis of each other. They're complete opposites, but the strength of the offense for the Jazz is the weakness of the defense of the Kings, and vice versa. And also Utah is just one of those places where it just seems like there's a lot of high scoring games. I understand that's not a stat whatsoever, but it's more of a vibe play. But if you look at the specific matchups here, the over should be able to hit. So give me the over 235.5 Sacramento, Utah. It is a very, very high over. I'm very aware of that. But at the same time, I just think we go way over this. So give me the over 235.5 in this game. Next, we're going to go to college football. We're going to college football here, and we're going to go with New Mexico State plus 10.5 versus FIU. Let me show you where I'm going with this play. First things first, New Mexico State covers spreads against Conference USA opponents. They've played very, very well against some of the best competition in the conference. And I think they're getting better and better and better the farther away they get from Diego Pavia, because Diego Pavia is unbelievable, but it took probably 4 or 5 games for them to get used to. They don't have an absolute stud at quarterback, and they've been playing better throughout the season. FIU, I don't trust them, man. I just don't trust them, and I don't watch them enough to go through every single matchup and tell you, but here's what I will tell you. From what I've watched with FIU, they are a good team that will not cover spreads, while New Mexico State is a bad team that will, and 10.5 points is just way too many points to give this New Mexico State team. I'm rolling with it here versus FIU. I'm going to take the points on a Tuesday Night Football. Next, we're the under 46.5 in New Mexico State and Louisiana Tech. This is the sharp play. I mean, all the money's on the over here, while the sharp money's on the under. All the sucker money's on the over. But also, you just look at statistics. It's not too hard to look. I mean, first off, Sam Houston State's 80th in points. LA Tech is 97th in points scored. Both these teams are top 40 in points allowed per year for the entire country. So that's absolutely massive. This game's going way under, and I just think this game is going to be like, 20 to 17 type game, 27-17, something like that. But it's going to go way under, especially as they're playing in Louisiana today. So give me the under 46.5 in New Mexico State, Sam Houston State, and LA Tech. Next, we're jumping the NHL. We're going the over 5.5, Anaheim and New York. I just think this goes over. New York's scored a lot more this year. Anaheim has been a much better offensive team from last year, much improved, while the defenses for both have gotten a little bit worse. So give me over 5.5, Anaheim and New York. And then we're going the under 6.5 in Ottawa and St. Louis. This bet's all about St. Louis, because St. Louis is a team that goes under. You look at last year, they were an under team big time. This year, they've been an under team. I'm on the under 6.5, Ottawa and St. Louis. Now, just so you guys know, we do have 3 more plays on our card. There are best bets. You can go to zdmbets.com/picks. The website is linked in the comments below. You can get all our membership perks along with our best bets as well. But guys, let's go lock in those picks. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. I'll see you all tomorrow.